Welcome to Triumphant Thursdays on Tea Time with Afternoon Social. Every Thursday, we talk to ladies who share their stories of achieving amazing things, big and small. They have overcome challenges, defied the odds, and made their dreams come true. Grab your favorite cup of brew and join us as we lift each other up and inspire each other to reach for the stars.
Good afternoon and welcome to Triumphant Thursdays here on Tea Time with Afternoon Social. I'm Teresa Lauterbach, your host, and our guest today is Tonia Winchester. Hey, Tonia.
Hi, Teresa.
Tonia is a naturopathic doctor, a mind healing coach. She's an author, a podcast host, and a featured guest on several podcasts and shows. And today she's going to share with us her journey of burnout and insomnia and how she's used that to help others with the same problems. Her book is titled Break Through the Insomnia Cycle, How to Sleep Deeply, Wake Rested, and Enjoy Happy, Energized Days. So this is what her background is for how she works with people with insomnia. So Tonia, how are you doing today?
I am feeling great, thank you. I'm really happy to be here having this chat today.
And before we get started about all of your journey, could you give us a little fun fact about yourself?
Ooh, a fun fact about myself. For some reason, something strange just popped into my mind. When I was 16 years old, I fell off a trampoline. This is part of my origin story to become a naturopathic doctor, actually. But I fell off a trampoline, and when it was x-rayed, they discovered what is allegedly a broken off tip of a needle in my elbow. And it's still there. It was never removed. So that is a strange and fun fact about me, and I can share more about that story if you're wanting, but that's what popped into my mind when you asked that question, so that's what I went with.
Very interesting. So We'll get to the point now. Just kind of briefly define for our audience what a naturopathic doctor is.
Yeah, it's tricky because some people don't necessarily know that term. So the naturopathic doctors are primary care physicians. And so what that means is you would go to see a naturopathic doctor for the same reasons you'd go and see your family general practitioner. Headaches, any kind of illness, symptom, disease state. And we approach things very differently. So one of the main tenets of naturopathic medicine is to get to the root cause of illness. So we're not necessarily interested in just putting in a medication to bury the symptom. We're actually trying to figure out what it is that the body is doing or reacting to. What is that root cause that the body is kind of creating this disease state? We also typically will use primarily natural medicines, so different herbal medicines, homeopathic medicines, food as medicine, things like lifestyle habits, sleep hygiene, hydration, exercise, nature. And the other thing that's really important to naturopathic doctors in terms of how they approach their patients is treating the whole person. So we're not just looking at bits and parts and cells and molecules, we're looking at the whole organism in the context of their personal environment, which is going to be unique and different for everybody. So a very different approach from Western medical doctors, but applicable to the same things from a health perspective.
Well, okay, that's very incredible. And that's what leads into your book and your journey of healing that insomnia. So I'm going to just go ahead and explain a little bit about your journey and how you're now helping others with that problem.
Yeah. So I would say maybe 5-6 years ago, I was one of these people who would fall asleep okay. And then I would wake up in the middle of the night and I would just be alert. And I'd be staring at the ceiling, counting sheep, trying to get back to sleep. And I was just wide awake. My husband was sleeping deeply beside me. And I was just like, it was the middle of the day awake. And this went on for several months. And you can imagine how much that would have affected me from a mental perspective and emotional perspective. Had brain fog. I couldn't focus. I couldn't concentrate. Memory was shot. I was reactive with people. I was unkind. I was triggered, irritable, of course, depleted, fatigued. And there was something important that I didn't realize, that hadn't been addressed. And the something important that my nervous system was just responding to, basically, I was being kept alert, kept vigilant by my amygdala, which is sort of one of our stress organs in our brain. I had trauma from my past that my body was still holding on to, and it was keeping me awake to, and I guess an attempt to keep me safe so I could, watch and be alert for any sort of signs of danger.
Right.
And so the insomnia and the burnout were sort of hand in hand because I was so sleep deprived. I was burnt out. I just didn't have the energy to kind of carry through my days. And this also overlapped with this period in my practice where I was noticing a lot of personal dissatisfaction, where I would meet with a new patient for the first time and we'd sit and we'd chat about their entire health history and really figure out what their goals were and agree on a plan that they could leave my office and go and implement and then reach their health goals. And they'd come back to me and they'd complain about how hard the plan was. They'd be like, eating my broccoli is hard. And I kind of make light of this because inside I was just like, really? Like, what do you mean it's hard? I don't get it. You're not going to sweat. You're not going to lift anything heavy. Like, what do you mean hard? And of course, it's not physically hard as a metaphor for the things that we need to be doing to take care of ourselves. The eating the broccoli, for some person, maybe it's getting to bed on time. Maybe it's drinking water. Maybe it's getting movement, being in nature, those things I mentioned that are part of the tenets of naturopathic medicine, all those lifestyle factors that help us stay well. If they're not able to do that, even though those things are actually quite simple to do, I realize that there's this decision-making place inside people where they decide it's hard to do those things. So it's the decision to change the habits that is really the stopping place for people. So these two things in concert, and I would say that dissatisfaction of people not being compliant with what we agreed to do, and them then not getting the results that they wanted in their life or in their health and their lives. I think it was a factor with my own sleep issues, but my past, the painful experiences that I'd had in my past that my nervous system was still holding on to was sort of this recipe for this burnout cycle that I found myself in. So I started seeking. I'm a person who's going to keep going until I find an answer that works. And I'm also very practical. So I like things that work. And through a couple of kind of false starts, like, is this going to be the thing that turns things around for me? I came into a body of knowledge called neurolinguistic programming, which allows an individual to really gently and really swiftly, it's very fast, to release the pain from the past. So those old trauma stories, those old negative emotional experiences, they get neutralized essentially to the point where someone can talk about their old pain story that used to trigger them emotionally, and they can just say, it's like I walked to the store. So it has this very sort of neutral, calm energy. And when I cleared that stuff out of my body, because the body really holds on to that type of stuff, my nervous system was able to calm down. I was able to sleep deeply, get the rest I needed, waking with energy, waking with joy, waking with peace. And I was like, this is important and people need this. So kind of created a structure around it. And that's what led to write the book. Yeah.
Fantastic. And so now beyond the book, you start coaching others and you develop a program and.
Yeah. So it's called a breakthrough, and it's a 6-step process where the first phase is we clear the negative stuff out of the past. So whatever it is that the unconscious mind is holding on to that is impeding that person from being well, from going back into healing mode, we clear all that stuff out in ways that is not talk therapy. I rarely know what people are actually working on and clearing when we do the work, which is really great. It's actually a really nice approach. Because if we keep telling the same story, we're going to keep sort of paving that neural pathway, and it's not necessary to heal, thankfully. Yeah. So that's the first phase. And then the middle phase is where we actually help people reconnect to the good things that they want. So the good emotional states, both in the past, neurologically, so they remember good things more, but also feeling good in the here and now, having this sort of present moment pleasure in a really sensory way, in a really alive kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third phase is, okay, let's set a goal for the future. What is it that you actually want to work towards? Now that we've cleared the past, we've reestablished the good here and now, what is it that you're moving towards? And so we set a goal for 8 weeks out, for a year out. And so then they have something to work towards, and they have those, the habits that they need to build that they can kind of slowly work towards the bigger goal.
Kind of like us as podcast hosts. We have goals that we need to set and put them out for a year at a time.
Yeah.
Now, what was one of the things that you learned from this whole journey that you like to share with other people that a takeaway?
Yeah. I think one of the most important things for people to realize is that their bodies are not out to get them. So whatever the symptom is, no matter what the disease state is, the illness, their bodies are actually trying to keep them well, and they're adapting to stressful situations or stressful habits. So it's like I can just land in my heart with this knowledge that my body is actually looking out for me. And sometimes we just need to sort of change the circumstances for it to be able to go back into healing mode. So one, our bodies are not against us. And then the other point I sort of just alluded to, but our bodies know how to heal. They want to heal and they can. Those are so crucial for people to keep in mind, because it invites a curiosity and a compassion when we're faced with struggles and challenges in our bodies and also in our minds.
And that's actually what I've been dealing with myself lately with the running out of treatment options. And so the body does know how to heal itself. The body does know what to do.
Yeah.
It may need medication to kind of help along, but these other things, like you mentioned, the nature of the food, all of those other things are extremely important to support that.
Yeah, exactly. There's a beautiful book called Radical Remission by, I think the author's Dr. Turner, and she followed people who had recovered from various types and various stages of cancer all over the world and sort of honed it into 8 or 9 different principles that they all were sort of doing that enabled their bodies to go back into healing mode. And it wants to, and it will if given the right circumstances. Whenever my dog is injured and we're going to the vet, or she's needing, some medication or maybe a minor surgery, I always just start giving her this pep talk, like, your body is so smart. Your body knows how to heal. You've got this. You're going to be okay. And then I'm like, wait a minute, I should be talking to my body like this, and also making sure that other people in the world know this, because one of the tenets of naturopathic medicine I didn't mention earlier is that every organism on the planet knows how to self-heal inherently. We don't need to learn it. It exists already without us needing to put it in place.
Right. Because for one thing, our minds, we do not know all the intricacies of what a body does. We cannot. It's like, I don't know what's going on my finger right now.
Yeah.
But somewhere in our brain in the back that we don't understand,
Yes.
It's sending us signals, and so it does know how to take care of itself. It knows how to tell you when it's fading and all of that.
That's exactly it. That's the unconscious mind at work. And if you were to get like a wound, like a cut, or like a mosquito bite, your body knows what to do to heal those things.
Right.
And so we can actually trust that if it knows how to heal those minor things, that it knows how to heal the larger things too.
Yes, of course. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us today on Triumphant Thursdays. And is there one more little takeaway you'd like to leave with our audience before we end today?
I think the biggest thing is to get curious and start to have conversations with your body. Hey, what do you want me to know about this rash on my butt? Hey, what do you want me to know about this pain in my shoulder? Just start being curious and compassionate and letting your body know you're there and you're listening.
Thank you. And thank you for joining us today, Tonia. And we will see her again tomorrow on Wednesday, Fridays. And we're going to get some real fun tomorrow. We're going to be talking about dancing.
Yes.
She loves to dance, and so do I. And so we're going to have a fun time tomorrow with that. So thank you so much, Tonia, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, Teresa. Bye.